Good morning, Magic. I'm Gavin Verhey from Wizards of the Coast. And with Double Masters coming out, the thing that I've heard perhaps the most, for me in particular, is thanks for having Oubliette in the set. But why did it take so long? Today I figured I would tell a bit of the story. So the first thing you need to know for this, if you don't already, is that we work really far ahead on our sets. It's not uncommon for us to work on sets a year, 18 months, 2 years, and even much further into the future as we're designing them. So Oubliette was originally printed in Arabian Nights. Fun aside, if you don't know what an oubliette is, it's a dungeon that can only be accessed by a trapdoor in the ceiling. Anyway, while it's not an incredibly remarkable card, it has one very important quality. It's common, so therefore it is legal in the Pauper format. And as Pauper was really starting to boom in late 2017, early 2018 and beyond, this card started to pick up in popularity. Because of all I do with the Magic community, thank you Magic community, I actually had my ear to the ground on this one. As a color pie violation, Oubliette would not be able to go into a standard set, so it had to go somewhere else. And the first place I ever thought of putting it was in the blue, white, black, blink kind of fate manipulation deck in Commander 2018. But there were a few problems. First of all, it was really late in the process and it probably wouldn't be able to get in there, and I'd have to kind of move mountains to make it happen, so it wasn't a great fit. But speaking of fit, the bigger problem was that it didn't fit on a card. That kind of kiboshed the whole thing. So time continues to pass and the demand for Oubliette gets higher and higher, but there both isn't a good place to put it, and that pesky text length issue is still a problem. And that's when I think I might have cracked it. I'm architecting Mystery Booster, a set where we're going to take old cards and reprint them whole cloth, no changes. The perfect place to get a card with too much text through. Now initially I'm pretty excited about this, but as I start digging into it, I find there are unfortunately a bunch of problems, not least of which is, do we even still have the old Arabian Nights files? Well, as it turns out, as you'll see in the final version of Mystery Booster, we could only use cards from Mirage forward. So once again, another set I was working on where it wasn't going to be able to make it in. But then two things happened. The first is that Eli Schifrin, our rules manager, thinks that he cracked the code on Oubliette. It could use phasing. Oubliette even used to at one point use phasing, so it kind of fits the history fine. The other important thing is that Aaron Forsyth takes notice and thinks we should put it into a set in the summer of 2020. There ended up being a lot of shifting around in our set schedule. In fact, at one point, Commander Legends was originally slated to come out right about now. But when we made the master set coming out this summer, it made a lot of sense to put Oubliette right there. And it ended up being a perfect fit. Double Masters is a reprint product, so it goes in there without a problem. Phasing was just reintroduced in Core Set 2021, so it's fresh on people's minds. And to top it all off, Oubliette deals with artifacts, which is something that Black would need to do in Double Masters Limited anyway. And as for all the schedule shifting and Commander Legends moving later in the year, ask me about that one again when it's finally time to talk about Commander Legends. Anyway, we had decided to put it into the summer of 2020. And now it was time for one of the hardest parts of my job, waiting. I mean, we all knew it was coming. We put it into a set 18 months or maybe even longer ago, but you of course didn't, and you didn't know when exactly it was going to show up. And this means that every single day I would get people asking for Oubliette, and I would know that it was coming. I would know, yep, just keep waiting and it'll show up. But to the players, it seems like, wow, we've been asking them forever and they haven't done this. And therein lies the trick with working on Magic so far in advance. And then of course, I went on to Larian Community College with the professor and said that Oubliette was going to be coming back in an upcoming set, but I couldn't say exactly when. And I would constantly get messages about, Gavin, why did you lie about Oubliette when it was in the pipeline the whole time? So keep this one in mind the next time you're asking for something, that we've probably taken notice and we're working on it. It's just gonna take a while for it to show up. So now I'm curious, if you watched that interview with me and the professor way back when about Oubliette, what did you think? And did you enjoy knowing that Oubliette was coming in advance, but not exactly when? Or would you have preferred that it was a surprise the entire time? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to know what you think. I'll talk with you again on Friday, and in the meantime, may you not get trapped in an Oubliette. You got this.